What is up, guys? Welcome to my new show. It's going to be called Adventures in Guitar Repair. This will be episode 1. Just going to show what kind of things I do here on the bench. It may be repair, it may be just changing something, it may not always be guitars, who knows. We'll just have to see what comes our way. But today we're going to be gutting this guitar and redoing all of the electronics. It's a Cayman GTX 33, which is a Ovation product. And somebody put EMGs in it, which I'm okay with. I love the 81s. But wanted to make this guitar a little bit more authentic to the 80s. So I got DiMarzio Super Distortion and DiMarzio Chopper, which is kind of like a little humbucker in a single coil. And I'm not much on the HSS configuration, so I just got a blank that I'm going to put in the middle. So it has a 5-way that we're going to be swapping out for a 3-way, and some 500K pots to the passive pickups. Active pickups have to have 25K, so these will all have to come out. And on all my guitars, I never use a tone pot and just bypass it, so we'll just throw some old pot in there just to have something to put a knob on. Alright, let's get this thing gutted. Alright, so we got this thing gutted. Now let's get some new parts going back in it. Alright, so when you're putting pickups in from scratch, you want to work farthest away back to your cavity access. So we're going to get this single coil here. And feed it in. This humbucker. And this is the F spaced. In case you don't know that, the F is for Floyd. String spacing is a little different than a standard bridge. So you get an F space pickup and you have a Floyd, and the strings will line up directly over your poles. Something to watch for, if any of you guys have never done this before, the pickup rings have a slight angle to them. Some guitars are stronger than the other, but you always want the taller side towards your bridge, angled towards your neck. The bridge pickups, the wire is always in the bottom right corner towards your cavity. This is the most annoying job to do ever. Let's see if we can do it in less than a half hour. Now the single coil is a little different, where it doesn't have a pickup ring. You've got to put the springs in between the pickup itself and the body of the guitar. Let's see if it came with any. Oh, it's scored. We'll rock with that for now. Not so for sure. sure that's gonna work out. Yeah, figure out how to put the blanking in. It's gonna have to have some springs too. Blank. Just more shorty screws. We're going pretty close to the body. Well, I might just rock with that for now. The reason I'm doing that is, like I said, I'm gonna normally play humbucker guitars. I'm not used to having one in the middle. When I first got this thing, I just kept hitting it all the time, so I sunk it to get it out of my way. So when I decided to redo it, I knew I didn't want to put anything here, so we're just putting this blank in here just so we don't have a hole. Alright, let's get in this cavity. Alright, let's start getting some stuff mounted in this cavity here. And with identical wires, you can always tell which one is which because the neck is farther away. So the shorter wire is going to be the neck. Quick tip. Now normally, or sometimes, I'll pre-wire everything and then put it in, but the cavity in this guitar is huge, which is kind of rare. So I'm just going to go ahead and mount everything up and then we'll wire it up later. I've already got the jack switched. Now with these passive pickups, you don't need a stereo jack, just a normal single prong. In case you're just getting into this, the reason is stereo jack for active pickups works like a switch. When you plug it in with your ground and the ring, when you got this prong that hits the sleeve, that acts like a switch and activates the battery, which is why they always say unplug your guitar when it's not in use, because when it's plugged in, that pretty much turns the battery off. We got rid of that. Got just a regular mono jack. Now, I probably will wire that up for I put it in, but once you put it in, you won't have access to it. So we'll wait on that. Like I said, we'll put my dummy pot in for the tone, just because I personally don't find a use for one. So I'll never put one in. Or I'll put it in just to hold the tone knob, but I don't wire them up. Also, traditionally, you know, on the other side is the neck and the bridge. So this will be the neck and the bridge pots. Well, I always wire them backwards. That way you mainly play on the bridge, so your closest pot is going to be bridge pot. Just something I like to do. I'm sure a lot of other guys do too. You might want to too. Essentially, you could have kept the 5-way and coil tapped these and still had 5 positions with tapped options on these, but I didn't want to do that, so I'm just going full bridge and then both and then neck. Just simple, really all you need. Alright, we're already starting to look like a guitar on the front side. I think that looks pretty good. Back to the cavity. Alright, let's get this jack wired up and put in. And then we'll start on these pickups. Now, something I like to do before I get going, just go ahead and put a little solder on your wires. This is not necessary, but I had one, so I'm going to use it. It's basically a little coax wire, which basically means a wire inside a wire. So it's got this wire and then these bare wires around it. So when you strip it, you just pull all the bare wires off to the side and twist them together. on both ends, and the bare is your ground, and then the white one in the center area is your hot. But I like to heat them up a little, get a little bit of solder going on them before you start putting them, making the connection. Makes everything better. I also like to do that on whatever I'm soldering to. We'll go ahead and get a little jack connections. Give it a minute to get hot. You don't want to call cold solder joint. It's not really what to take. Let's get a little hotter. There it goes. If this is your first time doing this, sorry guys, some of this info is going to be pretty basic, but I want to cover everything just in case this is somebody's first video on how to wire a guitar. But how to figure out which prong is which. You know, on your guitar connector, you know, this is called the sleeve, and this is the tip. So the tip is hot, the sleeve is ground. So when you plug it in, you can look and see the long prong hits the tip, and then the sleeve, which is pretty much, you know, the whole ring part, is the ground. So you just look and see if all this prong touches the ground. So the other one must be for the tip. Pretty self-explanatory. If you didn't know, now you know. There we go. Okay. Put this in the guitar. You won't be able to do that once it's in the body. Alright, there's our jack. Here's our two pickups. And here's our three-way. Two volumes. And our dummy tone, which I'm not going to use. Alright. Now, printed this off from HorrorElectronics.com. It's a great website to get parts. I can't tell you how many times I've had to look up these diagrams. They're all free. They have almost any configuration that you can think of, except no tone. But this is real easy. It just branches off of the jack, so we're just gonna omit that part and go straight to our pickup selector from our jack. If you don't know, a tone dial, all it really, when it's wide open, like majority of people play it, it's literally doing nothing. And then when you roll it back, it sends your signal through this capacitor that works like a filter and just scoops off the high end, which I personally never use, which is why I just don't even fool with wiring them up. Alright, now remember, these are DiMarzio pickups. If you've done pickups before, Seymour Duncans or anything else, by default you probably just grab red and green, or red and white, black and bare, and that's your ground. These go off together, and then the green is your hot. If you do a DiMarzio that way, it will not work. They're completely different. The black and white go off together. The green and the bare are your ground, and your red is your hot. If you're using full humbuckers. If you're doing coil tapping, then you'll have to do other things with the white and black wire, but we're not doing anything like that this time. Even with this single coil, we're wiring it up as it's going to be a humbucker, because that's what it basically is, just in a smaller package. Alright, these little wire strippers are awesome, especially on these tiny little wires. Yeah, like I said, black and white. You twist them off. Green and bare. And twist them up. The red is the only one that's going to be by itself. Like I said, I like to go ahead and solder all these up. All black and whites, just grab a little black tape. I'm just going to pull it back out of the way. Tape it up. Now, we went from 5 wires to 2 connections, positive and negative, or hot and ground, however you want to look at it. Alright, do this neck pickup real quick. Alright, camera died while I was getting that neck pickup ready, but we're back, so alright, let's start getting some stuff together. Alright, so our signal flow is going to be from our output jack to our pickup selector to our 2 volume pots and then to our 2 pickups. So let's start with this. Our output jack. It's not an input jack, it's an output jack. Your input is your pickups. Alright, so this, I found a video on YouTube of a guy explaining a 3-way. So we're going to go with his diagram because this switch matches more what I have than the diagram that I printed out online. So we'll see. If this one doesn't work, then we'll do it the other way. Alright, so short wire means neck pickup. We're putting it in the back instead of the front just because that's how I like to do it. Alright, neck pickup. So first prong is going to be our hot on our pots, and then our middle prong is what's going to go to our pickup select. Make sure I said that right. Alright. These pots I've used before, they've already got some ground going on, so that's good. Neck done, tuck it out of the way, this bridge going. Some people probably trim these wires. I never do, just because I pull this out and put in something else years from now, you never know. I like to trim it and then they're not fitting anything else, so I always just leave them long. So we got our pickups wired to our volume pots. We got our jack wired to our selector. Now we got our pots wired to our pickup selector. And we'll be done. Okay, so the diagram says that we're running a jumper from here to here, from here to here. And our neck is connecting here, bridge is connecting here. Then we gotta ground our jack still. In retrospect, this type of cable probably wasn't the best choice for this application. But hey, what we picked is what we're rolling with. Alright. This little wire loop, give just enough for our neck. Alright, little pin on the neck pickup. Neck pin on our pickup circle. Alright, get some black wire, get some grounds going, and then run these two pickup grounds just to be safe. And we'll still have to ground our jack. And also just remembered where we switched from active pickups to passive, we have to have a bridge ground, which clearly somebody removed when they put the actives in, but it's no problem to put it back. It was right here. I can see this blob of solder on this bracket here. We've got a hole here running into our cavity, so I noticed that. Otherwise, we would fire this thing up and go hum like crazy. Let's see where we're at, right there. Yeah, so if you've ever bought a guitar that came with active pickups and they're switching it to passive, that's a job. I've done it one time, but since it did not ever come with passives, they probably did not install a bridge ground from the factory. So get ready to get your drill out and drill into somebody's guitar or your own. And it is not fun. But the one time I did, it was successful, so. Alright, well that was a good catch, getting that bridge ground in there. I would have hated to get all this done, strung up, plugged up, ready to go, and then Humtown. It will let you know real quick. That goes for all of it. If you mess something up, it'll let you know real quick. It probably won't work. Or home or something like that. Alright, now where were we? Ooh, it's getting late. Alright, let's get this jack done. Alright, got that back in. Oh, I think we pulled it off. Oh yeah. It looks good. Alright, there we have it. Take you in close. So our jack comes in, it's our three-way, which then goes off to our two pickups. That's it. We got a dummy tone over here, not doing anything except holding the knob on the other side. And that's it. Successfully, completely rewired this whole guitar. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this one. I'm gonna get it strung up, jam on it. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.